close that. Give everyone what they want. Ready? Boom. Ah. All right. Where? Oh, there I am. Hi. Hey. Welcome to Houston. We have a problem. In just a few minutes, the GME live cast, the earnings call will be going, and I'm going to live cast it. So I can just go click, and there it is. Right now it's playing classical music. Welcome, everybody. Yes, so the earnings numbers are out. We're waiting to see what the call is. And what we know is that they missed the 52-cent loss per share by 87 cents. They have huge losses this quarter. And what that tells me is that they're spending a boatload of money in R&D. And I'm sure we're gonna hear something about that here in a minute. They should be going live in about 3 minutes. So yeah, that's what we got. And hope the microphone's working for everyone. It's not too gnarly. It seems to be doing all right. Yeah, there we go. So I don't have too much to talk about until they do their thing. As you can hear, they're playing some DRM-free classical music that is in the public domain. So yeah. Let's see here. Is there any other news? The market has been okay the last couple of days on the news that coming out saying Omicron isn't as bad as Delta, or isn't worse than Delta, I think is the technical term everyone's using. That doesn't really mean much. Like Delta was pretty bad, so if it's just as bad as Delta, we could still get bad news coming. And then everything goes again. The House voted to raise the debt ceiling. Now it's up to the Senate. Yeah, let's. Hey guys, you got other news? Carlos Rio Cruz, thank you for the drooling thing. So, the debt ceiling was pushed off to February, so we got a little stopgap measure, but the House voted to raise the debt ceiling. So now we're trying to get the Senate to do that. All right. So I tried breathing my water earlier, and my throat is just not quite where it should be. I try every few days. I tried to breathe my water, and I still don't have gills, and I'm not a fish. But all right. Let's see what they're doing. All right, we still got classical music. Let's let the classical music play in the background since I can't get takedown requests for that playing, since it's all public domain. All right. So. Oh, Beans Brigade, I do have a Blue Yeti screw coming. Someone sent me a link to where I could order one, so I got one coming, and then I chastised the Blue Yeti people for not following through and sending me their stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to talk into this bad boy tomorrow or Friday. And I am doing a show, I think on Discord with, oh my goodness, everyone's names are escaping my brain here. What's the group? With the Bulldog Trading Discord, I'm doing a show at 5:30. So I don't know if you guys are members of that, but 5:30 Pacific time, so 8:30 on the East Coast. Okay, well, it's 2 o'clock. Hopefully we'll have them popping in here. What is GME doing after hours today? I haven't had a chance to look. I took a shower to clean myself up. Get ready for the day. I'm sure it's tanking. It's probably getting absolutely hammered. Oh yeah. Yep. It's just getting absolutely hammered. So we're gonna have ourselves quite a deal on our hands. Woo! We're down what? 5% on the day, 4% after hours. Nice. Okay. Let's see here. Where is... No one else is getting hammered like that because today is GME's earnings call. So. I can't wait to call my mom and say I'm not working behind Wendy's anymore. Are you gonna be working behind the
Greetings
AM
and
PM?
welcome
Oh,
to
here we go.
GameStop's third quarter fiscal 2021 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. As a reminder, this conference call is being recorded and will be archived for 2 months on GameStop's investor relations website. This call will include forward-looking statements, which are subject to various risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from expectations. Any such statement should be considered in conjunction with the cautionary statements and the safe harbor statement in the earnings release and risk factors discussed in the reports filed with the SEC. GameStop assumes no obligation to update any of these forward-looking statements or information. A reconciliation and other information regarding non-GAAP financial measures discussed on the call can be found in the company's earnings release issued earlier today, as well as the investors section of the GameStop website. Please note that the company will not be hosting a question and answer session as part of today's call. Now, I would like to turn the call over to the company's Chief Executive Officer, Matt Furlong.
Thank you. It's good to be with everyone. Before going over the quarter, I want to thank all our team members for continuing to bring tremendous focus and intensity to GameStop's mission. We continue to see a customer-first culture taking hold throughout our stores, fulfillment centers, and corporate offices. Maintaining this emphasis on the customer will remain key as we work to grow across categories and new areas. During the quarter, we focused on expanding our selection, accelerating delivery speeds, and improving the customer experience. We also made long-term investments in our infrastructure, talent, and technology. We believe our emphasis on the long term is positioning us to build what will ultimately become a much larger business relative to where we are in 2021. We've also been exploring emerging opportunities in blockchain, NFTs, and Web 3.0 gaming. With this context in mind, here are a few recent initiatives of note. We continued growing our catalog by adding new products across consumer electronics, PC gaming, and other categories with significant addressable markets. Some of the brands we've established new and expanded relationships with include Samsung, LG, Razer, Vizio, Logitech, and Asus, just to name a few. Sales attributable to these new and expanded brand relationships helped drive growth in the quarter. We also began implementing new assortment strategies within our stores, including an expansion of PC gaming merchandise across approximately 60% of U.S. locations. With respect to hiring, we kept adding talent across the organization, including specialists with experience in e-commerce, UI, UX, blockchain, operations, and supply chain. Over the course of 2021, we have made more than 200 senior hires from some of the top technology companies. We also recently added a new office in Seattle and have identified an office location in Boston, positioning us within 2 tech hubs with strong local talent markets. Having footprints in these cities will help us attract and retain tech-focused teams with expertise in e-commerce and other areas. Shifting gears to our fulfillment network, we've started shipping orders from Reno, Nevada, while increasing shipments from York, Pennsylvania. Our expanded network is continuing to help us improve shipping times to customers across the U.S. Additionally, we recently announced a plan to hire up to 500 associates at our new customer care facility in South Florida. The facility, which is now operational, will be a key part of our new U.S.-based customer care operation. Lastly, we further strengthened our financial position by securing a new $500 million ABL facility, which closed early in November and includes improved liquidity and terms. The facility provides for reduced borrowing costs, lighter covenants, and more flexibility. Let me now turn to our financial results for the quarter. Net sales increased 29.1% to just under $1.3 billion compared to just over $1 billion during the same period in 2020. As indicated in the past, long-term revenue growth is the primary metric by which we believe stockholders should assess our execution. SG&A was $421.5 million, or 32.5% of sales, compared to $360.4 million, or 35.9% of sales in last year's third quarter. We reported a net loss of $105.4 million, or $1.39 per diluted share, compared to a net loss of $18.8 million, or loss per diluted share of 29 cents in the prior year third quarter. There were no one-time transformation, transaction, or related costs during the period. Turning to the balance sheet, we ended the quarter with cash and cash equivalents of over $1.4 billion, nearly $1 billion higher than the end of the third quarter last year. We continue to maintain a sizable 40.7 million. We anticipate CapEx will continue to increase as we make pragmatic investments in our infrastructure and tech. In the third quarter, cash flow from operations was an outflow of $293.7 million, compared to an outflow of $184.6 million during the same period last year. In order to meet customer demand and drive sales growth amidst the tight supply chain, we grew our inventory to $1.14 billion as of the close of the quarter, compared to $861 million at the close of the prior year's third quarter. In terms of our outlook, we're not providing formal guidance at this time. Before wrapping up, I do want to quickly reinforce some key points about our go-forward operating philosophy. Our emphasis on the top line stems from our leadership team's significant e-commerce experience and belief that revenue growth is critical. We believe revenue growth will translate to scale and market leadership, and from there, scale and market leadership will translate to greater free cash flows over time. Our focus on the long term means we will continuously prioritize growth and market leadership over short-term margins. I'll leave it there for this quarter. As always, we appreciate all the enthusiasm and support from our customers, employees, and stockholders who we believe are the best in the world. Thank you.
Guess that's it.
This concludes today's conference. You may disconnect your lines at this time. Thank you for your participation.
All right. Well, doink. Okay. Well, bam. Yeah. Okay. So that wasn't much news. I was really hoping they would drop a bomb there, but they didn't. So when will the loop ring announcement come? I have no idea. When's it gonna come? That's what we're waiting for, man. GHK 35, wait for the 12th. What's the 12th? 12th is Sunday? Yeah, 12th is Sunday. Think they make an announcement the 12th? I don't know, man. But how much does it drop now that the earnings call is over? I bet they're hammering it. We are dropped a little bit more. We're down now 6% after hours. All right. That's what we get, man. That's what we get. Okay, so basically they said that they don't have debt except for with the French government due to COVID. They lined up a new line of credit that apparently has real interest rates should they need debt. They're opening up offices in Seattle and Boston. They're doing a big customer service center in Florida. there wasn't too much there, but but their sales were way up almost 30%, so that's good. And what's the other thing? Well, their big loss of $1.32 a share, I think, is sign that they are investing heavily in R&D. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, so that's quick. That was dirty. That was over. What do we got here now? Okay, now the chat's flying, and I I did click a button and turned off the volume for a second. I'm so sorry. Oops. Okay. All right, what we got in the question department? "2022 squeeze, no Christmas for me this year." Possibly. Do they have to announce Loopring or NFT every quarter? No, but it'd be nice if they did at some point. What do I think the NFT stuff could be? I think the NFT stuff is probably multiple things. I think there is traction with the Wu-Tang album. I think it's very plausible. But I think the majority of what they probably worked on is getting games and DLC put into the NFT platform so that people can barter and trade them across games. So, if you've got skins for a Call of Duty game, you can trade them for hairstyles and Sims. I don't know. And so you can swap those things across the market like you would doing Uniswap for different coins or whatever. Uh, but I wouldn't doubt if they're looking into other methods to use NFTs for trading their own stock, for bartering things in DLC, for issuing dividends, stuff like that. It seems to be pretty broad spectrum they can use the blockchain for those things. Meow meow. Do you think Kenny G knows about you? To clarify, not the saxophonist, the other Kenny G, as you know nothing about woodwinds. I can make a woodwind squeak if I want to. Uh, Kenny G. I doubt Kenny G knows about me. I'm a nobody. Although he probably could use my style. But can you imagine, like, if Kenny G's office is just a bunch of YouTube dorks up on some sort of wall with like darts in all of our faces? I'm gonna get those kids. I don't know. uh, he probably doesn't think about us at all. He probably is just like we're all just a bunch of faceless YouTube, Twitter, Reddit weirdos that he just shakes his fist at in anger every day. Okay. ShadX may need to see positive EPS before any dividend discussion. Well, they don't have any debt, and that's the thing that precludes most companies from being allowed to issue a dividend. You can still issue dividend when you've got losses in the quarter, especially if it's not a cash dividend. Willie, isn't Cohen free to talk now? He is, but he hasn't really. So he still mums the word apparently. All right. And then Chicago Transit Minority has got the headline from CNBC that GameStop has lost more money than investors were expecting. They still have cash on hand though. R&D baby, R&D costs money. So that's what they're working on. Tyler Robertson, do you think the comment about per diluted share was weird wording? No, that's the term that they always use for those things. So I don't think it was too weird. All right. Supreme Roach Houston, thoughts on the meme ETF? Yeah, I think the meme ETF that's the Portnoy one. Yeah, screw that guy. I think the meme ETF is a fantastic way for short hedge funds to short meme stocks. So if you got a popular stock that's being talked about on Reddit or whatever, you can just reach into that meme ETF and just short as much as you want of those shares. It's a tool for the short hedge funds to continue to screw us. That's what I think. Hamfingers, why isn't Cohen Say something still in the dark doing cryptic tweaks? You got me, man. I don't think he has to be in the dark anymore, but I think he is having fun with everybody by doing that. He likes the cryptic tweets. Man, the clowns at Bloomberg were mocking us. Guess they win another round. Who names their son after lettuce? Romaine? Yeah. So, there you go. Yeah, that loss per share tells me R&D. That they are planning something much bigger, and they're still saying we got cash on hand, we got plenty of money to burn to make this thing happen, and that's the underlying tone I get from all this. And Loopring coin is dumping. What is Loopring coin doing? Come on, stupid phone. Oh, go there. Go there. Coinbase Pro takes so long to log in. There you go. Okay, LRC. It doesn't look that bad. I mean, it was at 280 down to 260. So, but I mean, it was lower earlier today. It was at 240 earlier today. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, they did mention blockchain, and the Seattle offices are all about blockchain. I saw some ads posted for project managers and stuff, and it's all blockchain related. So yeah. Hoshi Gaming Houston, don't they have a press conference set for later today? Do they? Newsroom. Let's see here. Oh, let's go there. Nothing on the newsroom for them. Just the financial results, Q3. Nothing about a press conference or anything. Nope, just their Q3 financials. That's all I see on their website. Yep, nothing there that I see. They historically announced dividends at earnings calls. Usually they do. Those reports will say what the dividend would be after they get all their earnings. Why won't GME answer questions like AMC? Usually they do that at the yearly shareholders meeting and not necessarily for earnings calls. Tyler Robertson. Houston, please say Matt Sublet is the trash king. Matt Sublet is the trash king. There you go. Okay. Cameron Mirza, Kenny G is suing Citadel Air website. Is he? Citadel suppressing critics with legal action. Evidently unsatisfied with billions, CEO has won an arbitration case against a parody website. Really? Oops. How come I didn't hear about this? Why was this not sent? So it shows a fleet of jets with Citadel logo photoshopped onto them, parodying the fund's vast wealth. Huh. Critic can't parody company. Okay. Why would this go to arbitration and not a court case? That's weird. How come I didn't know about that? Sometimes I just don't. I'm just totally in the dark when it comes to news on stuff. I'll have to ask Citadel Air guys what that's all about. Weird. Weird. AMC is a Chinese company? AMC is not a Chinese company. It's 85% shareholder owned. Are there any potential catalyst dates in 2021? Well, I mean, Loopring has said that their partnership is going to announce their business partner for their Loopring Layer 2 stuff is going to announce something before the end of this quarter. So quarter 4 is when they're supposed to announce things. Now, there's when stuff is scheduled and when stuff actually happens is always a big difference, But I'm hoping before the end of the quarter we get some sort of announcement out of Loopring and GME that whatever their blockchain technology is that they're developing can either launch soon or that's on the horizon or something. That's what I'm waiting for. The other stuff I would be looking at is Omicron stats, because COVID lockdowns can trigger the market to go and freak out. We're going to have tons of write-offs. I mean, just tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars in write-offs for Chinese debt. There was, who was it that was trying to do a deferment for, is Evergrande? Oh crap! One of the big banks is trying to do some sort of deferral for debt that is owed, and I mean they can defer as long as they want. They're still not going to get their money, but maybe they aren't in a position to do write-offs right now, just now. So if we defer it, we don't have to write off for this quarter and have our stock prices collapse big time. Okay. Tenacious Sour D likes the shirt. It is a good shirt. This is I like, long sleeve Hawaiian shirts are rare. It's not really Hawaiian. It's more, I don't know, Baroque. But I got little flowers on there, little orchids. Okay. Bill Coin, we should all chip in, get you a better laptop, maybe faster internet connection. Well, I think this is as fast as my internet connection can get, because to hook up to the fiber optic line that goes past my house is $10,000. So that's not gonna be happening anytime soon. But my computer's plenty fast. My computer's, it was a badass computer a couple of years ago. It should still be able to handle a video feed. Okay. Dip for the rip. That's the way I like to see it there, Seth. Winter Sama, Houston, do you think hedge funds will solve their problems by March like they told their clients? No. Hedge funds are screwed. They've got hundreds of billions of dollars in liability and no way to take care of that. Citadel essentially freezing their customers' accounts. I mean, they're allowing a small portion to be taken out each quarter. is what they did in 2008 before the entire economy just took a dump. So I don't think any of these short hedge funds are in good position. They they have never experienced a situation like this where everything that they're short on is has skyrocketed and is sitting at support levels that are well above the prices that they shorted these stocks for. So we're just in this world of they don't know what to do, and they're just assuming that sometime in the next 3 months or so they're going to figure it out. And what are they going to do? All they can do to solve this is to close their positions, but the act of closing their positions would vaporize every single one of them. So they're in this like holding pattern until the fuel runs out on the jet and they just crash into the surface. Excuse me. Okay. Happy Money says they can't give a traditional dividend because of the loan they took out. They haven't taken any loans out. The only loan they have is a non-secured loan from the French government for COVID. And that's one of those loans that will probably get forgiven if they don't fire all their employees in France. So they can give out a dividend if they want. Um, Legacy 10 Productions, Houston, still on target for Gherkin's exposure date run-up thesis. Uh, is morning Thursday 16th or Friday the 17th still the day to purchase calls? Go Mariners. I will probably be purchasing, my guess is before close on Thursday the 16th. Because me and 6 o'clock in the morning just are not friends. and I cannot guarantee that I won't, in my sleep, just turn off my alarm. I'm an astronomer. I'm a night owl. I can stay up to 6 o'clock in the morning easier than I can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Let me put it that way. So easier for me just to do it on Thursday night before close and Thursday afternoon and go from there. And I'm also not going to be greedy. Like if stuff runs up to 300% by Monday, I'll sell and take that win. I'm not going to count on the fact that we might get bumps on the following Tuesday or Wednesday. This time around, what it appears to me to happen this time around was they had a bunch of gamma on Monday. They still had 7 to 10 million shares they had to purchase by Tuesday and Wednesday, and they didn't. They went out and they borrowed them to throw into those make good on those exercise calls, and that's why we saw short interest skyrocket. So we may see something similar happen again on that Tuesday and Wednesday. So just to be safe, if it's up 200-300%, I'm going to be happy with that, and and then sell and buy a bunch of shares with the proceeds because why not? Meow meow. We feel guilty if Plotkin has to cancel his monthly subscription for male enhancement pills after MOAS. No. I mean, he won't be able to use them. He'll be too poor to attract the ladies at the club. So I mean, he may need them to sell himself. That's one thing he might need those blue pills for. GME does not have traditional debt. GME has no debt. They have one loan from the French government that's related to COVID, which can be forgiven and dropped. So it does not really count as a debt in the traditional sense. Okay. Nick Good says, look at Boss Blunt's content for more info on Citadel Air. Will do. Daphne Berry, what makes you think that Ryan Cohen is diabolical and wants to hurt short hedge funds? Why wouldn't he? I mean, his every action he's taken so far from becoming a large shareholder in GME has specifically hurt the hedge funds from this point. He seems like someone that is not a fan of these short hedge funds. And we get little weird tweets from him, from the GameStop Twitter account, where they'll show GameStop shorts. And it's not too hard to draw a picture about what those things mean. Bill Coin always confuses me. Why would everyone assume that the price drops on GME and AMC, everyone is going to sell at a huge loss? You see this all over Reddit all the time. Wouldn't it be the exact opposite? It is the exact opposite. I mean, traditionally, for stocks, if you see giant losses like that, people panic and then sell and drop it more, because that's the anatomy of a short attack. What we have now is everyone sees the price drop to 160 and they go, ooh, I'm going to buy 10 more shares because it is a deal right now. Because we know it's going to go back up to 250 or 350 before they short it back down again. And so it's a great opportunity to pick up for a deal. Why not? Okay. Digable Xenos. We know what Happy Money's saying. Happy Money's wrong. So stop talking about Happy Money. Okay. Houston, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Just so that everyone starts getting angry in the comments. Die Hard. There you go. Yes, I know it aired in June of 1988, but it takes place during Christmas. Therefore, it is a Christmas movie. Where did I hate it when my chat just resets and I lose what Beans Brigade Gaming, Andy P, just buy puts when it spikes or before earnings. MOAS or not, easy money. Kinda. I mean, if you bought $180 puts when the price was at $300 back in June, you'd make a pile of money. If you bought $180 puts when the price was $250 a couple weeks ago, you'd be making a lot of money. So it's pretty good thing there. Houston, pull up their 10Q, see if you see anything. Where did? Let's see here. All right. December 8th, 10Q. Let's look at that. Oops, let's bring it up here. Okay, so this is the GameStop 10Q filed today. Excuse me. Oh, it's a big page to go through. What am I going to find if I try to read these tables? Okay, so they got depreciation of equipment listed in there, liabilities, stock equity, short-term debt, problems involving line of credit, long-term debt, operating liabilities. Well, I mean, they do have debt listed here. Then why in their call they say the only debt they have are these like mortgages? Because I don't think necessarily mortgages count as debt in the same way that like a business loan would cost. Accruing liabilities, total liabilities. So they've got what's the January? Well, this is last year. This is all last year. This is the stuff they paid off. This is January 30th, 2021. So that's all last year. That's the stuff they paid off back in the spring. Okay. Okay. They don't have anything listed as debt for October 30th. I don't see anything. So, yeah, all this debt is from January 2021 and before. So, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. Balance, foreign, stock-based net loss, foreign currency. Nope, I don't see anything for current debt so far. Here we go. That's January again. So, it's 2020. I don't see 2021. That's 2020. There's 2021. Sales, operating costs, blah, blah, blah. No, no current debt as far as I can tell. Yeah, no current debts listed at the moment. So I think they're okay. I think they're good. Okay. Oh, as of October 30th, 2021, 5.2 million shares of our Class A common stock were directly registered with our transfer agent, Computershare. That doesn't seem like very much because Ryan Cohen should have 9 million shares in there alone, right? Isn't that his what he owns? So, Ham Fingers, Houston, do you have a P.O. box so we can send you decent PC hardware? I do. In the description, I've got P.O. box there. If you want to send me computer stuff, I'll promise I won't break it. I can put together a computer. I've done that plenty of times. Okay. Mike Almaser. I missed the earnings call because of effing work. What's the updates, please? The updates are they mentioned several times that they're working in the blockchain realm, that they basically have no debt. Their loss per share was pretty huge, but I take that as investments into R&D. And is that about it? Yeah, that's about it. That's took them about 4 minutes to basically say that those two sentences. Bill Coyne, when you take your finger off the trigger, it will instantly kill you. You keep your finger on the trigger and pray. Yeah, the hedge funds are kind of working with a dead man switch on that one. All right, Moneymaker, what's your take on metamaterial future price? I think the future price is going to depend upon when the Torchlight preferred shares roll over into Oilco and what sales, if any, there are for the oil fields. Because oil cos will vaporize out of existence the moment they sell those oil fields. It'll probably be sold as as a wholly owned subsidiary. They'll probably just sell Oilco to another company and then be like that and give everybody cash for it. William Morgan, there's over 60 metamaterial companies worldwide. MMAT is the smallest. MMAT has so many patents. They're essentially in line to become a patent troll. And if you look at intellectual ventures and companies like that, patent trolls can make a lot of money without much investment. So you basically just invest in R&D, file patents, and then if anyone else happens to come up with that technology, you just sue the hell out of them and make a pile of money. So, your legal expenses get paid for by the party you're suing, and you just make profit. Yeah, intellectual ventures doesn't make things; they just sue people. And Metamaterial has what 200 and something patents this year alone, and they will license their technology to companies. So like your cell phone, they have the technology to turn a film on the screen into an antenna, or do the same thing to a windshield, or a windscreen on a plane. They can turn surfaces into antennas, and reduce the size of things. They play with light in really weird ways. So they've got some avenues for future tech that is going to be used by a lot of people. Um, okay, and you don't have to keep asking the same question over and over and over. I'll get to it eventually. It takes me a while to scroll through everything, so I'm always 10, 20, 30 minutes behind as I'm trying to answer everyone's questions. So you don't have to worry about asking the same question over and over and over and over. I'll see it eventually. Okay. Michael Blackwell, Game Awards is tomorrow. Announcements aren't for earnings calls. If you're wanting to market towards your audience, wouldn't that be ideal? Oh, yeah, announcing some Game Awards? Possibly. Is that televised? Um, Game Awards. It's going to be live streaming tomorrow. 83 million people watched it last year. Holy smokes. So it's taking place in Los Angeles, London, and Tokyo. Oh. So. Okay. Oh, this one's in Los Angeles. Maybe 2023 is in London or something. See world premiere announcements of what's coming next 2022 and beyond. All right. So, what time tomorrow? Huh. That would be nice if they told me like what time. Oh well, something's happening. Okay. Andy P doesn't really seem to think that there's gonna be a MOAS. That's okay. You don't have to think there's a MOAS. I mean, don't invest if you don't think there's gonna be a MOAS. Problem solved. PB, GME syndicated loan from WFC contains TRS clause. Read it up, not cool. I don't see anything about GME and a Wells Fargo TRS loan. Oh, this is the asset-based credit facility. That has nothing. There's no TRS clause in that, and that's what they announced today. Yeah, I don't see anything that has to do with Wells Fargo and GameStop at all. If you've got something, DM it to me on Twitter and I'll take a look at it. But I don't see anything here about Wells Fargo and any TRS clause. Let's put no TRS clause. Yeah, I mean, they have not taken out the $500 million. This revolving credit means they have the opportunity to if they need to. But right now they're still sitting on like $1 billion. So they don't need to take loans from anyone at the moment. Excuse me. So I think they're fine. James Bond, hola, from Madrid, Spain. Houston, first, if you visit Spain, contact me, man. Second, I think we're a run last year. Earnings for me, it's a F. Well, to me, say hola in Espanol. Hola. Um, I do want to go to Spain. I was reading about this restaurant in Spain, in Madrid, that uh, they made their wood-fired oven in 900 AD or something, and it's been burning ever since through wars and inquisitions and everything else. This oven has had a fire in it, cooking delicious pork ever since. And I really want to know or see, or I don't know, take a picture of an oven that has been burning for like 1,000 years. That'd be pretty awesome. And it's apparently in Madrid, and I'd love to see that. Did I? Oh, I think I missed a super chat, didn't I? I missed a couple super chats. Okay, let me get in here. DJ BD, I have 700 GME, nice, and 8,000 AMC. Goodness gracious. Losing faith in AMC, but know it has some legs. What are your thoughts on AMC's run strength? I love the show. Um, in my opinion, AMC is still a squeeze play. Uh, Again, it's not going to squeeze the levels that GME has potential to do, simply because GME's got better fundamentals and seems to be more active in trying to screw over the short hedge funds, as well as the fact that the float is 1/10 that of what AMC's float is. And so, unless the price of GME is more than 10 times what AMC is, then they're not on parity. If GME is less than 10 times the price of AMC, then GME is technically the better deal if you're looking for something in the MOS. So that's what I have to say. Yeah. Okay. Are there a lot of bots in here? I got quite a few popping in here, I guess. Coco Choco. Yeah. I'm not a cop. Only 34% of trades are being directed through lit markets. Citadel, being the market maker for GME, is routing all their buy orders through dark pools. We all know this. Oh yes, that's happening for sure. Oh, Sinshan sent a super chat. Sorry, I missed yours. I get the feeling that GME shareholders are losing patience and could cost the company in the long run. What are your thoughts? Happy birthday. Uh, I mean, we all know that to defeat shorts, you have to buy and hold, and that's what we're trained to do at this point. Buying and holding, buying and holding, buying and holding. Um, GME does need to have a big announcement. They need a big announcement soon to keep everybody like amped and ready for the fight. If they don't come up with a big announcement before the end of the year, I think they're really missing their opportunity to run. Um, and they can't count on other market factors in this case. They really need to get something big out there that makes people go, ooh, what are you doing? And hopefully they're going to get that done before the end of the year, and it will be involving the blockchain somehow. And let's get it. Felix Houston, I had a thought today. I hope you have an answer for people in Chimerica, Merca. Put the date as month, day, year, and here in the UK put as day, month, year. I thought you would have the answers. Well, okay, so because of the way we order our syntax in the US, we say things like December 15th, right? Not 15 December, which they'll often say or organize that way in Europe. Personally, I like month, day, year, because if you give the date and you're just quickly reading, saying the 15th of the month first does not quickly tell me what time of year it is, because there's 12 15ths of the month. But if you put the month first, I automatically know what season we're in and what we're talking about and what quarter or whatever, and that quickly like establishes in my head, you know, if I see the seasons as a circle, I've got, you know, winter, spring, summer, fall, or whatever. I can picture myself where on that calendar we are. And then the date tells me what period of the month we're in, and then the year at the end just lets me know where in the depth of time we're talking about. Uh, so that's why US does month, day, year, and you know, it does cause hilarious problems all the time because Europe does it differently. And here's one beef I have with Europe is that lots of places in Europe use a comma for a decimal and a decimal for a comma. So if I were to write out like $10,000, Europeans would write 10 period 000, and the US would do 10 comma 000. And that also causes lots of problems between the two cultures. Autistic Polar Bear, did you feel the earthquakes in Oregon today? I did not feel any earthquakes. There were earthquakes in Oregon? Oh, 4.0. Ooh, off the coast. Ooh. All right. Oh, it's off. Oh, it's off Eureka. That. I have to look. Ooh, it's a whole swarm of them. Oh, damn. This is the spreading ridge, though. Spreading ridge quakes aren't the big deal. So we go here. So this is the subduction zone, this red line here, and this is the spreading ridge. So this is telling me that there's some slipping happening between this fracture zone. So this guy here is where the volcanoes are the conveyor belt of magma coming out, making more seafloor. And then this is a fracture zone that's going side to side, and then this is the rest of the spreading ridge for the Juan de Fuca plate. So this is the Juan de Fuca plate. It's an ancient seafloor that's slowly getting gobbled up by North America and is diving underneath along the spreading ridge here, or sorry, along the subduction zone here. Now, earthquakes out here aren't that big a deal. They you know, they'll move whatever because this whole plate is trying to grow. It's the earthquakes along this line are the ones that should scare the shit out of you. And we haven't had any meaningful earthquakes in the subduction zone in this area of continental shelf. Got a little one right here. That's not that big a deal. But we start seeing things like this in this area, that's when a giant earthquake is probably going to be coming. This plate has been locked up for decades, and we have not seen much movement from the plate in a long, long time, which just means that energy is building up and building up and building up and building up. So there's a ton of potential energy right now locked up in this part of the plate. And when we start seeing quakes like swarms like this happening in this zone, that's when we are really just effed in the A that something big is going to be coming. And there's two types of earthquakes that can happen along here. There's a localized one where you'll get a big quake in some zone. They'll have a bunch of little quakes like this, and then there'll be a big giant circle from a huge quake that happens in that particular part of the subduction zone. But my biggest fear is that we'll have a quake along the entire subduction zone. It'll just rip from north to south or south to north, and that could be you know, a 5 to 15 minute long earthquake that just shoots a 9.0 all the way up the coast from basically Eureka, California, all the way up to Vancouver, middle part of Vancouver Island. And that would be just bad news all around. So until we start seeing the quakes in here, these ones aren't a big deal. You don't care about those very much. But, you know, you'll feel them. Everything's a little shaky. People go, oh no. But yeah, it's okay. Dolphin Elect Testy, Mr. Wade, how far do you think stocks will fly? Some claim up to $1 million. I think the potential, if MOAS hits, the potential for the peak of GameStop is in the millions. They have to buy each share 10 to 20 times, and we aren't selling. So, yeah, there you go. All right. Bitcoin, GME, and AMC is a marathon. You don't know where the finish line is. Avoid Reddit posts, just repeating what you knew back in January. Cut down your information sources, one or two. Go live your life. Yeah, get out of the house every once in a while. I mean, if you spend every single day just watching the little line bounce up and down on the market, you're gonna go insane. Just go, take your furry beasts for a walk. Go skiing, hit the beach if you're to live somewhere warm. Live your life, and when the big news hits, you're gonna hear about it. So you don't have to worry about like being on top of everything. Because you guys send me super chats and watch my videos, I kind of have to do that as sort of a job. So I'll keep up to date for the most part for you. If you come across news, send it my way. I'll read it or watch the video or whatever, and try to suss out what's happening. But for most of you can just like chill out, baby. You can just go to lunch, have a nice time. Okay. Mermy TV, Houston, do you think when MOAS begins they'll remove the buy button again? So when FOMO kicks in, people can't join the MOAS train. It's possible, although there's a lot of people looking at that now. A lot of people in Congress, a lot of regulators looking at it. So I wouldn't worry about things like Fidelity, who are their own clearinghouse and aren't members of the DTCC. I wouldn't worry about them removing the buy button. It's going to be a lot of these brokers that are truly apps that kind of trade under a different brokerage. Your Webull and SoFi and Robinhood and those guys. They're the ones that turned off the buy button last time. And that I want to say, like, you just don't trade in those apps. Take them out. Move to a big brokerage that can handle their own stuff. Okay. Mr. Joe Nada, damn son, just finished my first semester PhD in math final exams, and I'm so stoned. All right, my quarter ends on Friday, and I am gonna be so happy to be done. I got boatload of grading I got to do this weekend though, so my brain has to just grade. I remember I took my second English class. It was like essay writing or whatever in college, and the professor is this grizzled old guy, and we're doing like the introduce yourself. Everyone in the class introduces himself, and he introduces himself, and he's like, "Got any questions for me?" And this one girl, she's like, raises her hand, this total like butt kisser of questions. She's like, "What made you decide to become a professor?" And he was like, "I was an idiot. I realized I liked writing and I liked reading. And I figured, hey, if I become an English professor, I can just sit around and read all day. It'd be awesome. But you know what? I got to read your garbage. You guys suck. And I hate it. Been doing it for 30 years and I hate every moment of it because you're so terrible at what you do." And I was like, oh, shit. At least with math is quick, like, did they get it right? Nope. Meh. And then just point out a couple spots where they may have gone wrong, but if they're really wrong, you're just like, that's all right. If they got it right, move on. Done, 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 done. Graded out. What with essay writing, man, when I have to assign papers, it can really just, it takes so long to grade them. I don't know how other professors do it without like putting their heads through walls. my my first paper, my first big paper I had to turn in for this Harvard history program that I'm in, it's 30 pages or whatever. I turned the sucker in with minutes to spare, and it is so obvious that like they had so many papers from this class, they went, good enough. So, they're lazy people at all levels. Yeah, conclusion, cool, done. Here's your grade. Okay. Ginger Rogers, you and Girk should live stream together today. I won't have time with Girk today. I've got to go jump onto another live stream for the Bull Investors thing on what's the name of that stupid app? Yeah, that. Oh my gosh, I can't. My Discord. Oh, I'm having a stroke apparently. Do I smell lawn clippings? Burnt toast. I'll have to join Girk again. I might try it. I got more time next week. Once I get all my grading in, I got more time next week, and I can start trying to invite people on. I'll try to invite. I'll see if I can get Josh Hamilton on. I'll see if I can get Jackson Hunter or Boss Blunts or, I don't know. Get Stonk Money. Get all these guys on here, and we can collaborate and throw ideas back and forth. Ham, how high do you think one share can go for? Thanks, Houston. Millions. Absolute millions. Will everyone get those millions? No. Because some people will go, they'll see all the zeros in their account and they'll sell. They'll be like, good enough, and they'll panic sell. There are other people that will be like, I am holding forever. And they're going to hold, the prices can go, and then all the shares that the short hedge funds will have to have acquired will have been acquired, and then the price will go, and those people that held forever will be holding a bag when it's all done. So you have to, gauge for yourself what you think that share price is worth and go from there, man. Nate Cole, 5.2 million is coming up on 10% of the float locked up, right? Yes. 5.2 million is technically 10% of the float being locked up. I would have thought that it would have been more simply because Ryan Cohen has 9 million shares, and I would have assumed he would have DRS'd all of those shares. So, I don't know. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer, if you purchase GME calls for a future date, you need 165 times 100 equals 16,000 in the bank when it comes through. I don't understand how it works. If you want all 100 shares, yes, if that's your strike price. If you are doing the what's the term for it? Oh my gosh, I am just today. You can exercise to close in a way that basically your brokerage, if your brokerage offers this, can buy all 100 shares, right? So let's say the share price is, we'll go to the calculator. Good, turn off the Chrome calculator. Okay, so let's say the share price is $200 when you've got a $165 call, right? So you're making $35 a share, supposedly profit off each one of those things. So times 100, you're at a $3,500 profit. Cool, right? So if the bank buys all those shares at, let's see here, how would I organize this? So your share price is $165 is your strike price. This price is at 200. You have a $35 profit. Done. Let's say you bought those things at $8, right? So maybe paying $800 total for that. What they're going to do is they're going to buy those 100 shares at 165 bucks, right? It's 165 times 100. They're going to spend $16,500 on those things. Then they're going to sell them for the $200 a share and make a $3,000 profit. $3,500 profit, and they'll just give you the $3,500, or they'll give you that many shares. So if shares 200 bucks each, they might give you 17.5 shares out of that 100. So they'll sell off 82 and a half of them, and then give you the 17.5 so that they cover all of their costs. So that's one way they can do it. Or if you've got the $16,500 on hand, you can, I just shut down, I always close my calculator. I don't know why I do that. That drives me off the wall. Weird Houston, always shutting off his calculator. But that's one way that they can do it is, they'll give you whatever shares as the profit on that transaction, and they'll exercise the rest of them and sell them. Peter Smith, insider shares are not included in that number, and that's up to the end of October. Okay. Ooh, here we go. From P. Longstock, GME increased inventory. If not, would we have positive earnings per share? Well, they didn't increase the inventory that much. I mean, they do have warehouses and things like that. But I think most of these big losses, or the big loss earnings per share, is due to investment in research and development, namely things like the blockchain, new call center, new warehousing, stuff like that is streamlining their processes and pushing them into new markets. I think that's where a lot of it is going. They did increase inventory. They do have more products on shelves available in 60% of their stores. They said that they increase inventory, especially into like PC gaming hardware. So that that is an investment, but I don't know if it's such an investment that it would eat up earnings per share that much. I think most of that is paying for fancy blockchain people that are going to require huge salaries to work for them. TJJ. So NFT announcement end of Loop Rings Q4. So before end of December. That's what I'm thinking. Before the end of December for sure. Oh, Matt Everts. As always, so do I me. Oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Did I miss anybody else's? Make sure I didn't miss anybody's super chats here, because sometimes I do. Oh, Matt Newton, I missed yours. Dip of all dips. Can't effing wait. It is. What is in the last hour? So since I last checked, what is it doing? It bottomed out. So it's at GameStop's at 165 and looks like it's now at a level of support there. So they couldn't hammer it that hard today. Maybe tomorrow, but my guess is you'll get people out there looking for deals tomorrow. I missed anybody else's super chats? Am I lined up there? I think we're good. All right, cool. Cool. And then make sure I'm not getting yelled at by. Okay. All right. Oh, just someone saying good luck on Bulldog today. Oh, thank you, Matt. Okay. Peter Smith, they invested heavily into inventory to combat potential supply chain issues this year. If they hadn't, they'd have reported profit in quarter three. Bullish as F. That is probably a good point. That so because of supply chain issues, this on what do you call it, the on-demand shipping, just-in-time shipping, we can't do that anymore. Not in this environment that folks have to warehouse stuff and have lots of inventory on hand, because we've got 100 ships backed up at the Los Angeles port, because we have, a lack of truckers and a lack of workers and supply chain issues for everything from semiconductors on down. So there's actually a huge growth in warehousing right now, because a lot of folks that previously, I sell 10 Nintendo Switches a week, therefore I need to order 10 Nintendo Switches a week to replace that supply, and I don't have to pay for warehousing because it's just going to arrive as I need it. Well, if Nintendo Switches aren't arriving every week like they're supposed to, and they arrive every 3 months, you're going to have to make an order for 3 months worth of Nintendo Switches and warehouse those suckers so that you have them on hand when you need them to sell them in your stores. So I'm sure a lot of companies right now are investing in warehousing that they had thought they had managed to get rid of due to this just-in-time shipping for a lot of products and parts that they used. So yeah, that makes sense that there's quite a bit of investment into inventory that way. Garfield Connolly, quarter 2 10Q made no reference to DRS shares. Quarter 3 10Q referenced 5.2 million DRS shares is notable. I think so. That's probably pretty notable. Yeah, I mean, 10% of the float locked up is a lot of float locked up. Autistic Polar Bear, see tonight as a way to buy bargain December 23rd calls tomorrow. Might not be too far off. If you can get them in that 220 range or above, probably get a pretty good deal. Beats by the Wood, Houston, should I keep my GME in Fidelity? I'm keeping it in Fidelity. I don't understand. I had somebody message me the other day that was like, should I transfer out of Fidelity? I think a lot of the outrage at Fidelity is mostly manufactured. You think about Fidelity. They didn't turn off the buy button, right? They allow you to route your trades through lit exchanges. You're allowed to turn off lending of your shares. And as the investment arm, they're long on GME and AMC. So, yeah, they're going to lend out shares, get an opportunity because money's money, right? But in the end, they make a boatload off of a short squeeze. And also, they're not a member of the DTCC. They're their own clearinghouse. So, people can try to be as upset as they can, but they didn't turn off the buy button. They're long on both GME and AMC. They allow you to route orders through lit pools. They aren't members of I don't understand. That outrage seems manufactured and fake to me about Fidelity. Just chill out, man. You're never going to find a perfect broker, because all stockbrokers and brokerages are just slime balls to begin with. But you take the best of the shit balls that you're offered. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Yes, I do miss super chats from time to time when I get on a tangent or a terror, one or the other. So yes, thank you for reminding me that super chats. I try to go back there and get them if I can. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we do have some chat spammers today. Sorry, and I'm only 30 minutes behind in the chat, so I thank the mods for taking care of them because I can't get to these things fast enough. I can't read them that fast while I'm chit chatting because I read the chats and then I got to talk for 2 minutes and I read the chats and I got to talk for 2 minutes and it just builds up because you guys know how to get in the chat there. Danny B, what are your thoughts on the link to Pleaser Dow and Wu-Tang Clan album? I think it would be astoundingly beautiful if these two are together with GME and it's offered as an NFT dividend. It would be an absolute paradigm shift and a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, we can't guarantee that it's going to be, it's all speculation that it's going to be an NFT dividend, but, why not? Right? Why the heck not? Why not? That's what I'm asking. Why not do it? Why not absolutely just turn the world on its head, make something awesome? It would be fantastic marketing. Plus, it would screw the short hedge funds. I think it would be a game changer. So why not do it? Um, Money Pack. Wait, Moneymaker? Am I missing something from Moneymaker? I don't see anything there. Okay. Inspect the deck. Cohen should take notes from Adam Aaron. No. Cohen should not take notes from Adam Aaron. Adam Aaron sells his shares, increases the float dramatically, sells his short hedge funds. He's not a buy and holder. He's not an ape. He's an old school business school bro who's buddies with all these guys at short hedge funds. I don't think Cohen should take notes from Adam Aaron at all. Adam Aaron is at times listening to the ape community, and he's trying to do things with NFTs, but they're more like baseball cards and not like the NFTs for the Spider-Man movies and the Matrix films are coming out. Those are just digital versions of the holographic baseball cards you would get for buying a Denny's Grand Slam back in the 1990s. They are not the float loggers that we need. They're not the dividends we need that are tied to shares that would screw people over. They're just sort of a marketing gimmick. And marketing gimmicks are awesome. Companies need to do those. And if they can mint, 84,000 NFTs as a marketing gimmick for a few $100 and then give them out to people that buy tickets to movie theaters because oh, I got this digital NFT, I'm so awesome. More power to them. Like that stuff is great. But Adam Aaron is not paying off debt. He can't offer a dividend because of that. He sold off a bunch of shares after giving themselves huge bonuses last year. He's like, hey, I got to make a living too. Buddy, you're worth like $1 billion. Who gives a shit? Chill out. You don't need to sell those shares. So yeah, that's kind of how I view that. Adam Aaron is old school, and he's not built for this kind of squeeze play. Okay. Josh Dobbs, what say you about the mysterious structure China snapped on the moon? Yeah, if you guys want to see that. Let's get this up here. Mysterious hut on the moon. So this thing out here, this weird little anomaly. I don't know if you guys can even see it from where you are. I probably have a zoomed in version here. Go away. Of course they don't have a zoomed in version. Why won't you have a zoomed in version? Give me the zoomed in version. So they call it a cube. don't know if you guys can even see that. Oh, Smithsonian, quit doing pop-ups. Give me a zoomed in version of the cube here. Why don't you zoom in? Someone's got to have a, nope, no earthquakes. We're talking about cubes in the moon. Do images. Oh, I can't spell structure anyway. Okay, so is that India Times? Well, that's as good as we can get at the moment. But they have the little rover, and the little rover is going to take like a week to get out there to look at what this thing is. Who knows exactly what it is? It's probably just a weird rock outcrop, and it might not be cube shaped. It might just be a different shape, but the shadow is projected to the left. So there might be more structure that we just can't see that's blocked out. But yeah, it's worth going to go check out because why not? You see something weird, go with it, right? That's what you do. Nil 21981 are you gonna talk with Al from Boston? Yeah, we were supposed to do something on Monday, and both of us didn't have a chance. So we're gonna try and chat at one of these points. So that's where we go. That's where we go. I probably will have time this week after today's with Bulldog investing. I'm tied up for the rest of the week trying to get grading done. So and I got a paper to write and stuff like that. Buddy, you want your blanket? All right, come here. Ugh. Yes. There you go. Now she's a happy dog. She loves her blankets. Okay. Honest Ape, my 7-year-old son could do better on the call. Why the hell can they not engage more with the shareholders like AMC does? I don't know. I mean, those calls can take a long time, and maybe they just don't want to do it. Daphne Berry, Houston, thank you for answering all of our questions patiently with positive, calm demeanor, even when they are repeated over and over. Yes, sometimes they are repeated over and over and over. A lot of my scrolling is me seeing the same question I answered 5 minutes ago pop up like 15 times. I'll try to get to them. I'll try to get to them when I can. Chicago Transit Minority, interesting tweet from GameStop featuring Michael Scott an hour ago. I have not seen that. Whoops. Let's bring that up. Come on. Why can't you download? What's going on? What's going on? Why is this so slow? What's happening? There we go. Games. Okay, now we're done. I don't know. Maybe it just means that they're done with the call and that they're moving on with their life. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that would mean. Somebody who can. I don't know if anyone's deciphering. They're all just sharing gifts back and forth, and that means absolutely nothing to me. I am not an investigator. I do not do those that easily. Oop, let me just click on there. All right. I can't have gifts going in the corner of my eye on the other screen, otherwise it's just going to be like watching Michael Scott over and over again. Oh, come on, chat. Okay. So that's the Dow question. Have you guys, okay, so Sense writes, have you seen The Naked Smoking Gun by U. Acuntex? I have not. Let's see what they have. U. Acun. Oh, where was it? Acuntex? Acuntex. Okay. Naked Smoking Gun. All right, I'm going to check that out. I'm not going to do it live on the air, but we'll check it out. All right. Yeah, man. At this rate, DRCing the float will take 4,500,000 years. Sub has the boss question. If a handful of institutions decide to sell GME all at once, could them selling take the price down a lot? Well, yeah. I mean, the average volume each day is like 2 million shares. So, let's see, what was the volume? What's the volume today so far? Volume today is 2.5 million, and they're able to drive it down 6% basically. So if the 150 million shares owned by institutions were all sold at once, that would crash the price for sure. But the price gets crashed, guess who's buying all those shares? Other guy, right? You don't. If GameStop right now was $20 a share, how many more would all of you buy? Hundreds of millions of shares, right? Because you all know exactly what the fundamentals are on the short squeeze, that there's probably a billion synthetic shares out there. So you're just buying more and more lotto tickets. Gobble, 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 gobble. It's not going to be the short hedge funds who are buying these shares. Short hedge funds want nothing to do with buying these shares and closing positions. They want us to paper hand and dump them on the market and just, let it go that way. And yeah, so if all those institutions sold their holdings of GameStop, it would crash the price. But it probably wouldn't last for long because we would buy it right back up again. The way of San Shin, a stock market newbie here. If you bought 50 shares 13 months ago and then bought 50 shares 3 months ago, when you go to sell 60 shares, which position, new or older, will get sold off first? I don't think that part really matters, and I'm pretty sure that you have to talk to a CPA about this, but I'm pretty sure you would take whichever one would be the favorable tax position for you. So 50 shares of the long position taxed at long position rates, and 10 shares of a short position, short holding, taxed at short holding rates. So that'd be my guess. I would talk to a CPA about that for sure. Okay. Peter Joy 931, what is Loopring waiting for? Quarter 4 is almost over. Well, it's got to be a joint announcement from Loopring and whoever their corporate partner happens to be, to make those announcements, right? So, we've got 3 weeks, 3 weeks for them to figure this out, and then we're on to a new world. John Carlos, DRS numbers are a lot larger. The DRS numbers was filed October 31st, which does not include until now. So number is a lot larger. Probably is larger since then because it's been, 6 weeks or so. Yeah. Okay. Oh, stop resetting, you stupid chat scroll. TJJ, is GME EPS down due to building NFT blockchain technology, R&D, tons of inventory, and new fulfillment center? Yeah, that's a lot of investment to do that stuff. It costs hundreds of millions of dollars to do that. So, if they have a loss of $1.39 a share, let's go back to calculator. So 1.39 times 70 something million, right? So that means they spent 97 million extra dollars on whatever these investments are, which is not much in the grand scheme of things for a company that does $6 billion in sales a year. So, or $5.5 billion in sales a year. So, and the quarter four sales will be much bigger because this is when they make all their money, Christmas season. Everyone's got to buy the games and the game systems for their kids and boyfriends or whatever, and this is when they make a bulk of their money for the year is Christmas time. So the quarter four earnings will be where they post profit, which is what they did last year. They posted a profit per share last quarter four. So yeah, I am catching up on the chat, guys. I'm catching up. Ty Bolak, I heard a rumor the U.S. is sending topsoil to China on barges to pay off some of our debt. Thoughts? I've never heard of such a thing. It should be the other way around because right now China's not paying their debt. So maybe China needs to send us some topsoil. Okay. Ricky Bobby AA selling those shares secured AMC 2-year operating income. It was a smart move during the high of COVID. However, with things getting back to normal now, it's just extra cash. I bet 70% was bought by apes. Actually, those shares, at least the ones back in June, were directly sold to short hedge funds. That's what happened. It was not; they were not bought by apes. They were sold directly to short hedge funds. GameStop, when they offered their shares twice this year, they slowly sold over a period of like 2 months, 2 to 3 months each time, so they didn't affect the share price, and they sold to the market, to retail. Adam Aaron and the AMC team, the price is at $77 a share, and they just dumped 11 million shares in the market all at once and crashed the entire price and broke the rally. That's not what you do. You don't break the rally. You sell slowly. You keep that sucker going. 10,000 shares here, 5,000 shares there. You just keep that sucker going on and on and on and make it take months if it has to. You make more money over a period of time, you keep your shareholders happy, and you screw the short hedge funds in the process. Elijah Emil, Houston, at what point, if any, would you reasonably consider the possibility that shorts have enough power to perpetually prevent MOAS? I mean, think about yourself, right? Let's say you have a credit card that has a $5,000 limit and you max that sucker out. And you don't have a way of paying off that credit card. So what you do is you get another credit card with a $5,000 limit, and you use that to slowly pay the monthly payments off the other one, and you just doing that over and over and over and over again until the balance of one goes like this, and all of a sudden your new credit card has a $5,000 limit on it, and the old credit card needs to is now empty, and you just do this for a long time. Well, you can do this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth for quite a while, but the interest payments are going to catch up to you eventually. Eventually, there's going to be an amount of interest that all of a sudden they're both up here. You have to go, oh crap, I gotta get a third credit card. So you get a third credit card and you try to work these things down with this third one over here. And you can do that for so many cycles, but eventually someone wants their money. And that's what we're waiting for. Someone's going to want their money, and the short hedge funds are going to have to pay for it. And that's just the way it is. So I don't think they can make it go forever. If all of a sudden everybody in these MOAS plays just gave up and went, I'm out, I'm done. Yeah, I could probably save them, but as long as we don't, as long as we just chill out and we sit and we don't sell, they have no power to win. We just keep them racking up bills on those credit cards. Idaho, Washington real estate. Have you revisited Girk's thesis on GME's short squeeze exposure? The Thanksgiving portion has passed. What are your thoughts on it now? I think Girk had the right idea. I think the short hedge funds, though, while there was a big gamma on the week 4 price action, that they stopped buying that Tuesday and Wednesday. So Monday the price went to $250 or whatever, and we had our highest close in a long time. And then Tuesday and Wednesday it just dropped because they weren't buying. They went out and they borrowed shares instead to cover those positions on all those options they had sold. So I think that's what they did. And so I'm going to be playing the game for that Monday, the was it 20th? Yeah, Monday the 20th. If we get big price action on Monday the 20th, I'm going to sell my options and reinvest that into stocks themselves, and then do it again for January. I'm not going to count on the Tuesday and Wednesday having big price increases. They may, but you know, a win's a win, and I don't want to hold the bag on that at all. Period. Ever. Quit resetting, you stupid chat. I scroll like this far and all of a sudden it just goes right down to the bottom, and then I miss everybody's things. Okay. Just never lucky, just waiting to find out which bank goes under. If the economy takes a big old dump, I think Wells Fargo and Bank of America are the two most likely candidates to just blink out of existence. And then, you know, Citibank and Chase will gobble them up, and we'll have even bigger banks that are too big to fail. If Congress was worth its salt, they'd break them all up. Ooh, here we go. Super chat from G Font YCC. I wrote a DD that Adam Aarons sold on May 28th at the worst time. They sold to the short hedge fund Mudrick at the beginning of the rollover window. If they didn't tank the price, it would have gone triple digits. I think it definitely would have gone triple digits if they hadn't dumped all those shares in the market. You'd be looking at $130 share price for AMC at the beginning of June, if that was the case. But they dumped all those shares to a short hedge fund. That short hedge fund was like, "Thank you, sell," and they shorted it again. So, you know, yeah, you are 100% correct. I was of the feeling back at the end of May that the price action happening on AMC, the AMC was going to be the catalyst. If AMC could have gotten up in the triple digits, that could have been enough to trigger margin calls across the board for everybody. They've got 500 million shares, so if they're triple digits, if we go back to calculator here, so they got 500 million shares, right? Let's say that the price had gotten to 130 bucks. That's a market cap of $65 billion for a company that makes $1 billion a year in sales a year. That is outlandish. And if they are short, you know, 4 billion shares, right? So 4 billion shares at 130. Oops, that did not come out. That's 520 billion, right? 520 billion liability of margin that a lot of those short hedge funds have to deal with. They wouldn't have survived. That would have been margin calls and liquidation across the board and forced buying for everybody in the market. Adam Aron basically killed MOAS by dumping those shares when he did to Mudrick. It was cruel. It was cruel of him to do, and stupid. And I still have not forgiven for that action. Okay. Tropical TV, any quick history lessons about how a geological meteorological shift has changed a significant battle? Well, we talk about Hawaii and King Kamehameha. What's it called? Okay, let me see if I can find the right thing here. That's not telling me what the Footprints Trail is. Okay, well, I won't worry about that. I'll just tell the story as I remember it. So let's go to, nope, scene. We want Google Earth. So, in Hawaii, after European contact, and Captain Cook was slaughtered by the Hawaiians, King Kamehameha, who was from Hawaii, the north tip of the Big Island here, he was a big badass, and there was a lore that the person who could overturn this giant volcanic rock would be the king to unite all the islands. And the rock is actually in Hilo, at the Hilo Library. The Hilo Library is, where are you, Hilo Library? You're somewhere in here, along Wainuiui, I believe. Is that it? That's Federal Building. The library is somewhere in here. But there's this giant rock. It weighs like thousands and thousands of pounds. And King Kamehameha came along and was like, hurrah! And just flipped it. And he's like, I'm going to be the king of the islands. And then he proceeded to take an army and just start to conquer every tribe that was on the Big Island, and then moved. And he managed to consolidate all the islands except for Kauai. So he managed to consolidate all these and form a kingdom. And eventually Kauai joined the kingdom at a later date. But down here in Kau, there was a tribe that was like, no, we don't want King Kamehameha to take over everything. We're going to go kick his ass. And they were probably the only formidable army that could do it. And they were marching to get to the canoes out here on the coast off of the Kilauea volcano. And while they were marching out there, Kilauea had a gigantic pyroclastic explosion, like a big explosive eruption at the crater, the summit, and this huge burst of steam came out. And these steam bursts that come out of volcanoes when they erupt like that are, 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Like the steam is so hot, it just cooks things instantly, and you can't. It displaces all the oxygen, so all of a sudden it's just hot steam you're breathing, and you die. And so hundreds of soldiers that were on their way marching down to the coast to take their canoes up to go up to Hilo and try to defeat Kamehameha all got wiped out. It was like 700 soldiers got wiped out at once by the steam burst of Kilauea. And because of that, because the most formidable force that could have stopped Kamehameha from consolidating the islands died due to the volcanic eruption of Kilauea, meant Kamehameha consolidated the islands and became king of Hawaii. And there you go. There's a geologic event that changed the course of history for an entire people. How's that? Like that one? That's the first one that popped into my head. Boink. There we go. All right. I'm sure there's lots of others out there of ships getting sunk in hurricanes and volcanic events in Italy or something. I'm sure Vesuvius has had its share, but none of those popping on the top of my head at the moment. I mean, there's a lot that have to do with Russian winters. People keep thinking they can invade Russia during the winter, and then the armies just die, freeze to death or starve to death. There's a lot of those. Dobromer Orenov. We have certain undistributed stock awards that participate in dividends on a non-forfeitable basis. However, their impact on earnings per share under the two-class method is negligible. I'll have to wrap my head around what that means. Read that one a few more times. Okay, so that could be an NFT dividend, something that cost them a few $100 to mint, and then bring, they send them out to everybody. Mr. Joe Nada, GME went from an average of like $4 to an average of 160 in a year, and AMC went from an average of $2 to an average of 40 all year. Pretty much, yeah. Demetrius TS, hello from Cyprus again. Houston, are the earnings calls out? Are you waiting for them? Just came online. Do you think they're positive or negative? They finished the earnings call about hour and a half ago. And the news was, I don't think neither positive or negative. They did miss projections because apparently they invested a whole bunch in R&D and inventory. So they had an extra 87 cents per share loss. So basically, they spent $97 million more than they should. But that's, they've got another, they still have $1 billion in hand to deal with that. So I think they're okay. Forger, Houston, what happens if GME is in a Wyckoff distribution? So far nothing. I mean, AMC was in a Wyckoff distribution last week, and blah 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 blah. So TA is not my area. TA for me is like wizardry and witchcraft. There are folks out there that can read it better than I can, but when a stock is so heavily manipulated, I don't put any of my faith into doing TA. I'd rather talk about the big picture and what the end road is than trying to like draw pennants and cups and handles and things like that. I'll leave it up to the TA guys. I can't stare at graphs all day. So all right. Joe Hernandez, Wade, unusual whales tweeted that GME reports 5.2 million shares DRS and computer share. Yeah, that was on their 10Q filings apparently. So yeah, they're mentioning it that 10% of the float is locked up in there, which is a significant portion of the float to be locked up in something like that. Meow meow. If a broker like Charles Schwab were to go belly up, wouldn't that mean all of everyone's stocks would vaporize? The Fed would stop that, right? Their stocks wouldn't vaporize. It'd be just like when a bank goes belly up. Someone else will come in, buy the assets under management for pennies, and then you'd be a member of that brokerage. So if Charles Schwab went under, let's say, I don't know, TD Ameritrade comes in and does a bid with the SEC, says, hey, I'll take that off your hands for $1 billion. And the SEC goes, have it. And then all of a sudden your account would be a TD Ameritrade account and not a Charles Schwab account anymore. That's basically how it works. Just like when Wachovia went under, Wells Fargo jumped in and bought Wachovia for pennies and assumed all of Wachovia's accounts, and all of Wachovia branches became Wells Fargo branches. Or when Washington Mutual went under, Jamie Dimon and Chase went in and bought $300 billion in assets of Washington Mutuals from the FDIC for like $1 billion, and then all the Washington Mutual branches became Chase branches, and all those Washington Mutual accounts became Chase accounts. Your account with Charles Schwab will become an account under a different brokerage because people want to consolidate and grow their pie bigger, and that's what they do. So I wouldn't be too worried about losing your shares in an event like that. Whoever picks up Charles Schwab is now going to have the responsibility for those shares. It's just me. Does metamaterial squeeze this year? If the divvy is spin-off, hedge funds can't replicate a share of stock in a new company. Apparently, they can buy and sell the placeholder MMTLP shares. Glad a healthy merger. Yeah. Well, basically, they can become short on two companies now, right? They're short on Torchlight, short on Oil Co. And if the implication is true that there's a buyer lined up for sometime in January to take all the oil fields off their hands, then it's going to be a company that's going to last for like that long and then become a cash preferred dividend. Just sit and wait. That's all I can do. I mean, the price has done a lot of this. It is lower now than it has been, but so is a lot of the market. So, yeah. Ah, you stupid chat. Quit resetting. It pisses me off so much. Where was I? I was up here somewhere. Okay, there we are. That was just me. Okay, Purchase Sun. Paul asks, if people were buying GME instead of AMC, MOAS would more than likely have happened already. Probably. I mean, if you had 4 million investors, let's bring out the calculator. Let's look at that. Okay, so so we have 500 million shares owned by 400 million investors at what's the price right now for AMC? $30, right around there. Back. AMC is at 32. So it's just 16 billion. This is not assuming that, you know, there's billions of synthetics. That's $16 billion in retail money just on the fundamentals of the float of AMC, which is owned overwhelmingly by retail investors. Those 16 billion shares can become 80 million GME shares. So let's say everybody all of a sudden liquidate AMC overnight. And granted, the price would crash if they liquidate AMC overnight. But they put the $16 billion into GME all of a sudden, the price would just rocket ship to the moon. And yeah, so if everyone focused on one stock, it's true. We probably could trigger the sucker. But we are beings that can't focus on one thing ever. Meow Meow. As a BBIG investor, what do you think of Lomotif? I think the video quality is crazy good. I've not seen the video quality of it yet. I've not looked. Let's can't spell Lomotif. Oops. Let's go to there. Okay. So it's one of those thingies. I have no idea really what they're doing, but if they're in that TikTok, Instagram space, they're probably gonna make a fortune. Yeah. So, but they'll probably make a good chunk of money off that. That's what they do, man. That's how they do it. In what is December 27th when they're supposed to have the spin-off shares? What day is the 27th? 27th is a Monday. That's likely. Last week of the quarter, the spin-off shares happen. Yeah, and BBIG has been getting hammered. And like S3 has BBIG at like a 200% short right now. So 150% short, somewhere around there. So BBIG has a lot of potential to do a big old climb when they spin off those shares as well. Yes, Goldman is leveraged 133 to 1. Goldman is not in a good position. Uh, they're 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 probably screwed as well as far as investment banks go. They took a big hit from Archegos and they didn't really have the cash to deal with it, which is not a good sign if you're an investment bank that you can't handle one family fund going under. Especially when that family fund, it's like a $30 billion liability, and some of the margin of hedge funds that traded to them are at like $300 billion in liability. Not a good spot for Goldman Sachs to be in there, Mr. Jonata. All right, we got a few more minutes here, and I gotta eat some dinner before I go on to Bulldog at 5:30. So you guys are welcome to join, see what questions you're gonna ask me on Bulldog, and we'll find out. Okay, let me scroll down to the bottom here and just get some of the fresh questions. Oh, got another one from Meow Meow. 590 people in Super Chat, and I'm all alone. You're not alone. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Okay. All right. Oh, apparently someone was having a bad day and just got booted. Hopefully they weren't being too awful. Like people can, if you ask questions over and over again, that gets a little annoying. But if you're gonna do things that are hateful, I prefer not to be in the chat. So I hope the mods are doing a good job taking care of those things. It's been a while since we had someone horribly racist pop in here and be evil. So I prefer not to have those folks messing up the videos here. Tyler, any thoughts on Nano or its meme coin Banano? No, I have no thoughts on Nano or Banano. But Nano. Nano to Banano, nano.trade. It looks like it's trading at about half a penny. I don't know. This is their not heavily detailed site. What stats do we get? I don't know what any of that means, but it's trading at about half a penny. Wait, 1 nano equals 187 banano. Banano. I don't know what the hell. I don't know anything about bananas or nanos. Or nano bananos. Why does nano hate banano? Apparently it's been around for a while. One band to nano exchange rate calculator. I don't know anything about banana or nanos. There's so many crypto coins out there. I don't know if anyone keeps track of any of them. But I don't know if you saw Unusual Whales had mentioned that in the last week, $600 billion in crypto value has just been eaten by the massive sell-offs that are happening. Yeah, wild, man. J. Alford, for the expected move December 17th to 22nd, wouldn't buy weeklies this far out. February calls are a great idea because Theta doesn't destroy them by December 17th, 20th. Try options. Yeah. No, I have no plans on buying December 22nd options until probably the 16th. At close the 16th is when, probably close 16th is when I buy those weeklies. Or maybe I'll set an order that night to be fulfilled in the morning when the market opens on the 17th. But I don't plan on buying those weeklies until we get there, until next week. Tyler, is banano.cc, check out the yellow paper. Banano.cc. Oops, again, banano.cc. Is a feeless, instant, rich in potassium cryptocurrency powered by DAG technology disrupting meme economy. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what any of this means whatsoever. But you can mine it, I guess. All right. I'm gonna have to read about it, so I'll have to read up on that because I have half those words don't even mean anything to me when I read their little blurb there. So yes, I'll check it out, Tyler, and I'll see what it's all about. Houston, go eat that hot pocket already. I will when I'm ready. I don't know if I can eat the hot pocket before I go on to call everybody else and get all like gassy. Because I have the feeling from what everyone's been telling me, the hot pocket is going to absolutely ruin my insides. So I think I need to plan for like a day when I have nothing else to do to experience the hot pocket in its true natural state there. It's still sitting in my fridge or my freezer, just waiting to be melt the roof of my mouth. Okay. Freethinker McJones, I don't like anything that seems marketed directly towards apes. The revolution will not be commercialized. I mean, more power to the folks who can make bucks off of that stuff. Like, hey, why not? I don't know. Like, why not mint a bunch of NFT pictures of monkeys and sell them and make just boatloads of Ethereum? More power to you. I'm not going to be the person who buys it, right? Like, I have no interest in buying a 30 by 30 picture of a monkey smoking a cigarette for $140,000 in Ethereum. That's not going to be me. So if there's somebody who can part with that, cool. I am a-okay. Oh, there's something totally floating in front of the camera. That was weird. A little dust bunny or something. Okay, so we're after 4 o'clock on my side. I'm gonna have to eat some food. Thank you everybody so much. Catch me after dark on Friday. I'm not sure what time. I have so the quarter ends at the Film Institute, and then we have a bunch of student films, like a film festival we have to watch. I'm not sure what time I'm gonna get done, so it might be a late night after dark by the time I get back. But we'll be doing that Friday, and we'll have a good time. I'm gonna read about Banano and see what that's all about. I have no idea, and we'll just yeah, cool. Ready, guys? Are you ready? I know you're ready. Ready for this? Let's do it.